Hi, today I wanted to talk about another aspect of wellness, and that's on forgiveness. Now, I think we can all relate to being hurt by others at some point in our lives. And you might be thinking, what in the world does forgiveness have to do with wellness or our health? But studies actually show that practicing forgiveness is good for you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. A study done by Hope College in Holland, Michigan showed that people who were remembering past hurts or ways that they had been hurt by others responded with their blood pressure increasing, their heart rate increasing, and an increase in muscle tension. And that's just one study of many that have shown that holding on to past hurts can actually cause us physical consequences. And there's a lot of research out there that shows how practicing forgiveness is good for your health. The studies demonstrate people who practice this having lower blood pressure, less anger and bitterness, less stress, less depression and anxiety, a lowered risk of addictions, improved immune system health, so they're better able to fight off illness and disease, and overall healthier relationships. So today when I'm talking about practicing forgiveness, it's not because the other person deserves your forgiveness. They may not even have ever apologized to you. But this is about you doing something that's good for you by working on forgiving the person for what they had done. And it's not easy. Forgiveness for me personally does not come very naturally. I have to work at it. And so I wanted to share with you not only how it's good for you, but also some ways that we can start to forgive. I like to think of forgiveness as letting go of a past hurt to the point that it's no longer causing you emotional or physical problems or upset. Others might define it as letting go of a past hurt until you no longer feel anger or resentment or a desire for revenge. Now, by forgiveness, I do not mean that we're saying that what the person did to you is okay, or condoning their behavior or approving of it, because it's really not even about them. What I'm talking about is doing something that you will benefit from. And the first thing to remember is that forgiveness can take time. I think it's easier for some people, more so than others, and it's a process. We don't necessarily just say, okay, I'm going to forgive that person, and then the pain is gone and there's no more problems with it. I think it takes time. We want to begin by changing the way we think about the problem. We want to make the decision to forgive that person. And when we do that, not only are we choosing to change the way we think about it, which means maybe not ruminating on it and thinking about it over and over again and how much that hurt, but it also might require some changes in our behavior. So maybe if we were trying to seek out revenge on that person, that's something that we would want to change. Forgiveness also requires an emotional change as well, one that's moving away from anger and bitterness towards compassion and empathy. I absolutely love this quote. It's one of my favorites because it reminds me that it is possible to step outside of my perspective of the problem and the situation, thinking about it from the other person's perspective, the person who is hurting us or others, and how maybe the reason they're doing it, either intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously, they're doing it because they are in so much pain that it's just spilling out of them, and maybe they think it would make them feel better if other people around them were hurting. When I think of it that way, I think of myself as less of a victim at that point. And I feel like I can begin to make some of those emotional changes of letting go of the anger and the desire to get back at them. At times, this might also include forgiving ourselves for things that we've done wrong, mistakes we've made. I think we can be even hardest on ourselves, beating ourselves up forever over something that we did maybe a really long time ago. And you know what? We're human. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect. So we need to be gracious to ourselves and forgive ourselves as well for things that we've done wrong, and then do our best to make amends. And as I said, forgiveness is difficult for me personally. It's something that I've been working on for years and years. And I used to really hold grudges and really want the person to sincerely apologize before I would forgive them. And even if they did, there was a good chance I might not let it go. And for me, there was also a spiritual component to it because I was just having such a hard time forgiving and letting go. And I knew it was causing a problem for me. And I had heard that quote, and maybe you're familiar with it too, about how forgiveness keeps you emotionally and spiritually chained to the one who hurt you. And I just hated that thought. I hated the idea of being chained to that person. So I just prayed and prayed that God would help me learn to forgive. And what I found was that it happened gradually, slowly over time. And I think the bigger the wound, the longer it's going to take. And that's okay. We can't force ourselves to forgive in an instant. We want to allow the process to take time and happen gradually in small steps. This can be done whether or not you have a continued relationship with the person, whether it's a friend, family member, coworker, whatever. Because sometimes we wish we might be able to cut someone out of our lives, but because of our life situation, we're forced to continually deal with it. I think there are times and situations where we need to discern whether or not it's time to cut toxic people out of our lives. And it's not to punish them, it's not to get them back for what they did, it's really to protect ourselves and to keep ourselves healthy. We don't want to continue to be a victim to someone over and over again who is not even in a place where they understand or care how their behavior is affecting others. But we can do that for ourselves. And as a counselor, it's really been amazing to me, not just in my own life, but in the lives of clients too, to see how practicing forgiveness has just allowed for a lot of healing for my clients and how their overall quality of life has improved. So I strongly encourage you to at least consider trying to practice some form of forgiveness and start with something small. Start with small hurts if that's easier for you. Because there are just so many wonderful benefits for you, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And even if that person doesn't deserve forgiveness, you do. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and thought-provoking. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, reactions, experience with this, or questions. I would love to hear them. We'll see you later. Bye.